Are you surprised it happened, or is it just a matter of they finally got healthy and Jim was able to run a team out there that he wanted to run out there?
Well, what is happening, fellas? This is a good question. You guys got to realize the climate, what the portal has done, and what getting older players have done. You know, Wake Forest, I think what they have four. I think they had maybe 3 or 4 graduate students and plus some fifth-year guys and some seniors. It changed the whole complexion of the team. Now Miami, they got transferred there, like you heard the Michelle say, she got some people 24 and 25 years old. That's a big difference between Jalen Water being 18, John Butler being 18. It's a big difference. And I think that they have gotten to the point where they're older, more matured, and the mental and the emotional focus that it takes to go out and be successful, you know, and execute and be comfortable with your execution is at their highest level. They couldn't have any more experience than what they already have. And that's what's happening in college basketball. So it's understandable that those teams of Notre Dame, they're older, more mature team now. Wake Forest, they brought in a bunch of, okay, and Miami has developed to the point where they are older, more mature team. They don't make the same mistakes. They're more comfortable in their own skin. They play well together. They made enough mistakes that they can play through them and they understand. And that's why, to their credit, and that's the way college basketball is going now.
Yeah, you're talking about your relationship with Coach Larrañaga. Obviously, I know he is well respected. He's had a number of bad years in a row, mostly just because of injury luck, like Chris alluded to, just guys unable to stay healthy. I guess, what can you say about him, his what makes him successful?
Well, there's no doubt that Jim is extremely experienced. He's had the opportunity to be at the highest level at the University of Virginia. Did I lose you guys? Okay. At Virginia, he's been a head coach at the mid-level and the division. I think he was at Bowling Green and George Mason, and now he's at Miami. So he's been around. There's nothing that's going to surprise him. He understands the level that you have to play at. Great teacher, great developer, and I think that he's in a very good place now. You know, I mean, he's been to the Final Four, I believe, and with his team. I think he might have been to the Final Four at Virginia and at George Mason. And so, and he has them playing at a high level now. I mean, so he's crafted out a system that really, really fits who they are. And they're fun to watch offensively and defensively.
Go to Lane Hurt.
Coach, what did you learn about your team on Saturday night? The way there's early struggles in the second half, but they're able to grind out, improve from the free throw line, and grind out some possessions and get some good looks and good buckets to close it out.
Well, I think it's good to be in a team against an outstanding opponent like Louisville, where you don't have any room for error, you know. And what I liked about our team, I thought everybody played with a winning focus. You know, I thought that we late there in the second half. I thought that I thought when we missed a couple of shots, you know, making the adjustment to moving the ball, making a couple extra passes, that we kind of got out of rhythm. Coach Caleb got in foul trouble, and he was giving us an offensive boost. And we did the same thing in the Wake Forest game. But then we regrouped and then got back to playing the way we had to play in relation to what position we were in at that particular time. But I did learn that we're growing. I learned that we're improving. I think everybody on the team is now playing with a little less apprehensiveness. They're a little bit more assured of where we're supposed to go and how fast we're supposed to get there. And so I think we are learning and growing. We are still a long ways from being the finished product. But I've said this many times, we are just completely opposite from the way we have been. You know, over the number of years, when you go all the way back to Beasley and Bacon and that group, and we still had some veterans around that gave us some stability and led by example, even while we were trying to work back that far. Then we brought in Isaac, and he was basically the only really new guy that was in that system. And then you got Vassell, and he was the only guy that was being really featured at that particular point. Then we brought in Williams and Scotty, but now it's completely flipped. Instead of having veteran team with few first year guys, I think we got 7 first year guys, I believe, 6 or 7. And now we got, right now we have 4 playing that are returning guys. And so we have more inexperienced guys with our system. It doesn't have anything to do with their talent, just playing together, being familiar, learn how to adjust your roles and learning the system where you can feel comfortable and not real unsure of where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do in relation to how you fit in our system. It's kind of a process that we're going through. And so we're different now. So I'm learning, what I learned the other night was that we're making progress. I feel like we're getting closer to understanding how we need to play with each other in order for us to be successful.
Ira Schoffel.
Coach, over the last few years, it just seemed like a guarantee that you guys were going to win your home games. Did that Syracuse game kind of light a fire again, just about what can happen if you guys don't defend your home court?
Well, our execution could not have been worse against Syracuse. I mean, not anything other than understanding how to attack that defense. And there were times when we were trying to do what we have normally in our game plan, but it was almost like we was a step slow, not quite making decisions fast enough, a little unsure, wasn't shooting with the confidence that we really need to. And so it's just, that's what happens when you're teaching and learning and growing together at this level. Hopefully when we play them again, we'll execute a little better, because we have been fairly successful against their system. But our inexperience raised its ugly head in the Syracuse game, and we just didn't quite get it done. To their credit, I thought they did a good job with their defense, and I thought we just didn't do a very good job defensively, or we didn't execute very well offensively against the zone. And that's a bad combination.
Go to Bob Ferrante.
Hey, Coach, good morning. I'm curious with Anthony, obviously the shooting struggles, but he had rebounds, assists, I think that nice alley-oop, the defensive plays. How he's making all the plays, but the shots aren't going in. Do you think the rebounds and assists might kind of help him long-term as he kind of finds that shooting rhythm?
I don't know if he's not shooting as well, is that people respect him and they're sitting on him and not giving him any good looks. And I think that when he's become the main target of the other team's preparation, and he's not getting a lot of the open looks that he had when he played with other guys in that the defense had to give those guys attention. He and White both are victims of being good shooters and people giving them the proper respect, which should open up things for other guys. And he's not forcing anything. He played excellent defense. I think he had about 8 big rebounds. He made good decisions. His defense was unbelievable. And so he's contributing. But as Caleb starts playing better, now we get Naheem being a little more effective inside. We get Malik back healthy, 100%. You'll see things start opening up for him. But when people come in now, they're not giving John Butler, the freshman, and Naheem, and maybe some of the other guys the attention that they're giving him. They're saying, do not leave him open. Be there on the catch. And so that's what's happening. But we kind of reestablishing ourselves. And as our team improves, you're gonna see he get better looks, and I think you'll find that he's going to be more consistent because our system gives everybody an opportunity. If you think back over the years, one of the strengths of our team has been the quality of our depth and the contribution that our guys have, our rotation players have given us. The other night, we had a lot of points scored off the bench. A lot of guys, everybody contributed who came in our rotation guys. We have not been doing that consistently. You know what I mean? So the way we play, giving everybody touches, everybody involved, makes it less challenging, makes it more difficult for a team to key on any one particular player. Right now, they're keying on our most experienced players, and our young, inexperienced guys are just not getting in the rhythm and becoming more effective in our system. So it's only natural that people give him attention, and he's being challenged, he and as well as Malik. And so that's who we are right now. I'm just hoping that we can keep grinding them out and winning, and hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks, if we can just win our share of the games, I think we're going to be a much better team in February than we are right now.
Go to Matt from Orlando.
Yeah, Leonard, I want to ask you kind of touched on this a little bit, but the next couple of weeks, you got Miami twice, Duke on the schedule. What do you want to see from your team over the next 3 or 4 weeks against some of those teams?
I am not going to worry about who I got. I'm only going to worry about who we are and what we're doing. And how it doesn't really matter who we are playing if we are executing and doing what we do. If we can, we first got to become consistent and efficient with who we are in relation to our offensive and defensive system. And right now, we still in that. I got to get better at it. I got to remember exactly what I'm doing stage, And so we're psychologically, we're not as a confident bunch as we normally have been because of the newness of what we're trying to do with so many first-year guys. I'm hoping that if we can just stay focused on ourselves and not worry as much about who we're playing, because it doesn't really matter. We're not going to make that many different changes. We love what we do defensively. We love what we do offensively. We just got to become better at what we are trying to do. And we think that'll be enough regardless of who we play. At least it has been over the years.
Go to Austin from Warchant.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well. I just wanted to go back to the Louisville game and the way Caleb Mills played and how that affected the rest of the team. You mentioned that you liked the production you got from everyone off the bench and like that against Louisville. How much easier does it make it for everyone else to kind of get in their groove when Caleb's putting it, filling up the bucket like that?
Well, in the past, we've always had somebody play like the Caleb. If you go back and look back over the years, sometimes it was the guys starters, it was the guys who come off the bench, and that's what's been consistent with our team. But in the game against Louisville, there's no doubt that he gave us a cushion, but he also caused Louisville to give him more attention, which means he was able to create from his teammates a little better. And so he was pushing the ball in transition, gave us a couple of baskets, which forced them to have to get back, which left some other guys open for shots. The fact that people was giving him some attention, they couldn't leave him off the baseline, so they couldn't leave him off the baseline, and so we got a couple of lobs and stuff in as a result of him being effective, which opens up things for somebody else. That's kind of who we are. We are a team that still win games by committee, and I'm hoping that we can, against a really, really good University of Miami team that we got coming in here, will give us a challenge to know we got to play at this certain level in order for us to be successful. And hopefully, as we have more success playing at the level we think we need to, we'll gain more confidence, and then we'll be more consistent.
Go to Ryan Kelly.
Hey, Coach, real quick. Matt played a good game on Saturday, too, against Louisville. Just where have you seen him progress the most from the start of the year?
Well, I think he's understanding how he needs to play in relation to our system so that he can be more effective. And I think that's, I mean, I thought his shot selection was good. I thought his defense was good. I thought he rebounded very well. His effort, his body language on the bench, I thought was excellent. And so I think he's, and then he was 7 for 8, and he got big rebounds. I thought his defense was really, really good. And I thought his energy kind of was contagious, and it kind of lifted the spirits of some of the other guys. He's playing, he's reacting a little bit more than thinking. And I think that's the process most freshmen go through at some point where, you know, they feel more and more comfortable. And I think that's the stage that he's in right now.
Anybody have any follow-ups for Coach?
Yeah, I just have one more, Coach. Do you think because of the way the landscape has changed, like you said, with all these teams bringing in these older players and transfers, do you feel like a younger team,
Well, I'm gonna zoom.
you're going to see their best later in the year? You know, as you guys are going to continue to get better. Is that kind of the hope a little bit?
Yeah, there's no doubt, but that's a natural process. And the older, more mature teams are who they want to be early, and the younger, most inexperienced teams, you know, they're going to progress as they go along. But I think what is happening in the big picture is it's really going to affect a lot less recruiting out of the high school ranks, because people are going to be more interested in trying to stay old and going to the portal to see who they can get out of the portal, as opposed to the process that we normally have had with developing. We've been kind of a team that has developed players along the way. And we have not lost anyone that we thought that would not be coming back until this recently. You know, I didn't expect Gray and Balsa, you know, to leave because, you know, I think of the obvious. But that has happened to quite a few programs. And so as you're trying to progress and you lose someone, you realize that the more, are you better off getting a high school player? Or you better off getting a proven college player who even might be in a division, maybe a mid-major school, but has grown, matured, and old enough that he's not coming in without an understanding of what you have to do at this level. So it's kind of thrown everything a little imbalanced in what it has been, and we probably going through a little bit of that adjustment as well. You know, I didn't maybe concentrate on the portal near as much because, you know, we really went after the high school guys, and we think that's the way we've been developing our program. But now the kids can transfer and be eligible immediately. You know, now that's taken on a whole life of itself. It's created that, along with the NIL and the transfer portal and the overtime elite league and the guys going the one and dones, and now that the G League is taking kids straight out of high school. I mean, the landscape has really changed in college basketball, and you know, unless you are willing to get in that portal, you're gonna have some situations where you're young. And I think that when you look at Notre Dame, you know, they got veterans back, they've dipped into the portal, and they're an older, more mature team. And I think that's one of the reasons why they've been successful there.
Any more questions for Coach? Allison?
Yeah, Coach, just to follow up on that, where do you see college basketball in 5-10 years? I mean, just with the overtime elite, with the transfer portal, with NIL, are people going to have to change the way that they conduct their programs?
I think we all have to make adjustments to that. I don't know if the overtime elite league is going to have as much of an effect as the transfer portal, because there are a lot of players in the United States. So if they take 10 or 15 out, this maybe 20, 30 kids that go to the elite, we'll be okay. But it's the 1,800 kids that are transferring that becomes very interesting, and I don't know how that's going to play itself out, you know. And it's just it's interesting. I don't know if the word, I don't want to use the word chaotic, but it's hard to predict where we're going to be 5 years from now. I mean, I was reading the article, Coach Saban was saying, you know, the portal, I mean, it's like now we can do legally what schools had been doing illegally. And it's like free agency, you know, and, you know, it's really literally, I mean, schools are coming up with programs, and obviously it's like it's going to become a bidding war. It looks like to me, because the guidelines are so vague that the schools maybe in the metropolitan areas, that they got more industry, they got more, you know, maybe might have more contributors and financial support, might create a gap between the haves and the have-nots. I mean, I don't know where it's going. All I know is it's different. We all got to adjust to the change, and I hope whoever came up with the portal idea and the
NIL.
NIL, I hope they're proud of themselves, because they have made a major contribution. Now, whether it's good or whether it's bad, but they need an award, a trophy, or a pitchfork. I don't know which one they need, but it's definitely they have made a major contribution to our system, and we have to see whether or not it's positive or whether or not it's negative.